purpose in the dating, then ultimately what's going to happen is you're going to there's going to be a conflict of some sort that's going to take place as time moves on. Okay, when you date for a nice period of time and this, that, and the third, and you're going out with this person here and there, you don't really have a purpose, or you're not really trying to serve a purpose in dating the person, then that person is going to bring that up. And then you're going to have that. So what are we doing? Conversation. You're going to have that, right? And so the best thing to do is to be completely upfront about what your intentions are in the beginning. And also, this is, again, I said this on my IG Live, that it's good for people to say what they want in the beginning, all right? Because if you don't say what you want in the beginning, then you have no reason to complain.
I long for that feeling. Why did it have to go away? I long for that feeling. Remember everything you said. Had to go on dreaming, dreaming. 'Cause baby, you are everywhere. I wish that you were here, 'cause I don't want nobody else. I'm not afraid to be alone, new beginnings. I'm not afraid to overcome every feeling that I have. So take me in your arms, yeah. 'Cause nothing can really hurt us unless we let it grow. Forget about the past. Baby, we can make it last. It's better when it's me and you, no matter what I do. Baby, we can make it last. It's better when it's me and you, no matter what I do. Baby, we can make it last. It's better when it's me and you, and you know it's true. Baby, we can make it last. It's better when it's me and you, no matter what I do. Baby, we can make it last. It's better when it's me and you, and you know it's true. I know that feeling. We say goodbye until it hurts. I know that feeling. Stormy skies and fireworks, yeah. But I'm not afraid to be alone, new beginnings. I'm not afraid to overcome every feeling that I have. So take me in your arms, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause nothing can really hurt us unless we let it grow. Forget about the past. Baby, we can make it last. It's better when it's me and you, no matter what I do. 'Cause nothing can really hurt us unless we let it grow. Forget about the past. Baby, we can make it last. It's better when it's me and you, no matter what I do. Baby, we can make it last. It's better when it's me and you, no matter what I do. Baby, we can make it last. It's better when it's me and you, and you know it's true. Baby, we can make it last. It's better when it's me and you, no matter what I do. Baby, we can make it last. It's better when it's me and you, and you know it's true. And you know it's true. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, coffee beans? Come on in. What's up? Come on. Hey. What's up? Good morning, and welcome to Coffee and Conversations with your boy Tay Biz. I'm in the building, man. It's good to be here on a Saturday, man, on a Saturday morning. It's nice out. It's a little bit cloudy, I think, here and where I'm at. It's a little bit cloudy, but we are definitely in the building. And we got a good show for you today. You know what I'm saying? We got some good topics we're going to talk about. We're going to get involved and get deep into it today. But first, man, I hope everybody had a great week. I hope everybody comes in and hit the poll question and let us know what kind of week are you having this week. Did you have a good week? Did you have just an all right week, or did you have a week where you need to talk to somebody? You had some struggling going on? What's up? What kind of week did you have? Let us know in the comments, and we will definitely make sure that we get to you today, man. But again, welcome to Coffee and Conversation. This is our other show here on the Mailroom Network that we do have, and that we do kick it in a little bit on a little bit more of an intimate level, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more on the level of different topics and stuff we want to talk about and get into, man. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to shout out the fellas, the other two participants and owners of the Mailroom Network, my boy Rollo the Don and my boy JB the Gent. Definitely appreciate you guys, man, if you're watching. So yeah, but before we get into the show, man, you know, I got some merch on. I got some merch on. Not my merch, not the Mailroom Network merch. I got the hat in the back. But today, man, I'm coming through with some merch, man. I want to shout out my boy Ask Aaron Victor on Instagram. This is the link to get the merch. But if you like the shirt, it says my dopeness doesn't expire. My dopeness doesn't expire, right? So the shirt is fire, man. I love this shirt. This is my favorite out of the three, out of the bundle. This is my favorite shirt. But this is the thing. All right. So my boy AJ, man, was Ask Aaron Victor on Instagram. He has monikers that he always mentioned on Get Over the Hump, which is a show that he does every Wednesday and Friday mornings on his IG page at 7:00 Eastern. And so he always asks three particular things. He always asks what type of week you have. He asks you, do you have I'm a classic week? You know, are you feeling like classic, right? He'll ask you, are you having a week where you realize that, you know, my dopeness doesn't expire? You know what I'm saying? And then he also has which is his book, I'm Built for This. Are you having the type of week where you saying you're built for this, right? So I'm gonna get into what this all means in a minute. But he got the merch, man. I got the bundle. You feel me? Your boy had to come through with the bundle. And shout out to my man AJ for showcasing my pictures and stuff. Like, he hooked me up, man. I appreciate you, bro. But this is one of the shirts I'm wearing. I'm wearing my dopeness doesn't expire. You know what I'm saying? And also, I'm built for this, man. Now the book is still selling like hotcakes, but this is the shirt. I'm built for this, right? Get to the camera. I'm built for this, man. Right? I'm built for this. You know what I'm saying? I'm built for this. And then, so you got to get the bundle. You can't get one shirt. You got to get the bundle, right? And then I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. And then it says here, I'm a classic. I'm wearing my dopeness doesn't expire right now, but I'm a classic. All right, I'm a classic. I've been wearing my shirts already, but I'm a classic. Then you have my dopeness doesn't expire, which is like my favorite one. But I also have the link pinned to the chat for people that's coming in as well. But I want to read these monikers off, all right? So let's start with I'm built for this, right? So I'm built for this. What does it say? It says, "What didn't destroy me developed me. What didn't kill me gave me life. I'm prepared for what's in front of me. So therefore, I'm built for this." Hey, I likes that. I likes that. That's fire. That's fire. That's fire. I likes that. All right. The second one is I'm a classic. I'm a classic, right? And it also says here, I'm no longer explaining myself to those who choose to see me through their own lens. I'm a classic. So it's almost like an analogy of like when you get an old school whip, you ain't got to explain it, man. What's understood don't have to be explained. You feel me? And so watch this though. When you get the bundle, not only do you get these cards that you can just use anytime you want, but you also get the coffee mug, right? I got the I'm a classic coffee mug. And I don't know if he's doing different ones for different people, but I know in my bundle he gave me I'm a classic. So we're gonna sip to I'm a classic right now. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's fire coffee. I got the cinnamon flavor. Oh my God. From the Brooklyn Roastery company. I appreciate you. Also, the last and not least, my dopeness doesn't expire. It says right here, I'm on time, set to arrive in time to impact the people at the right time. My dopeness doesn't expire. Shout out to my man. Shout out to my man AJ, man. Shout out to him, man. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Yo, I'm enjoying the merch, man. I appreciate it. If you go on his page, go to Ask Aaron Victor on IG. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and hook it up real quick, man. Let me put your IG up, brother. You know what I'm saying? Ask Aaron. Uh-oh. See, there we go. Yes, sir. We getting you together, brother. We getting you together, man. Yes, sir. So ask Aaron Victor. That's his IG. And go ahead and support, man. I mean, you'll see reels of me. You'll see reels of other people that he is definitely involved with, do business with, things of that nature. So, man, I really appreciate you, bro. Shout out again to AJ. That's my big bro. But ask Aaron Victor. As a matter of fact, he was the first guest on season 2 of Coffee and Conversation. So we definitely want to shout him out, and we definitely want to appreciate the merch, dog. And I'm enjoying my coffee mug, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, why don't you get you one of them joints that like you can travel with, my boy? You feel me? Get the my dopeness doesn't expire with the thermal joint. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Make it blue and orange, like you got the colors and everything. Color coordinate that boy. Yeah, dog. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we getting in. We getting in. Yeah, but let's go ahead and get started with the show. We definitely want to keep it moving, keep it pushing. Again, this is the Mailroom Network. We are off. We are having a season off of Mailroom, the Mailroom Show. The Mailroom Show will be back soon. We will have dates for you available coming soon. And just look forward to it. We got some video promo we're going to be doing, and we got some good stuff. But in the meantime, we got Coffee and Conversation. Please come through every Saturday, 11:30 a.m. right here on the Mailroom Network. As a matter of fact, the last show of the season, the fellas will be on the show. Yes, the fellas will be on the show, man. It is confirmed. It is going down. We're going to have a good show. I'm going to be able to interview my boys. Yeah, I want to interview some people. You feel me? So we definitely going to have some good stuff going on, man, for that. And also, definitely want to continue to stay committed to what we're doing here on the show. We got videos, clips, all that kind of stuff. The Mailroom React video will be coming soon. It's going to drop very soon. And so we're going to get that popping, man. And so we're going to get it started, man. But let's go on with the show. Go ahead with the show. All right. All right. The first topic we're going to talk about today, man, this is a very interesting thing right here. All right. Florida bans the permanent alimony law. All right. They banned the permanent alimony law. This is very interesting because of the fact that this is something that I think only Florida has done so far. And as a matter of fact, I think this law this ban started in July 1st of this year. So it's very, very interesting. So the thing about it is the permanent alimony then, or well, currently, recently, and in a lot of states, it's still permanent alimony. Permanent alimony deals with people, for the most part, is paying out the alimony or spousal support for those individuals that request it. Most of the time, it's women, and there's some occasions amongst men as well receiving alimony from their ex-wives. However, for the majority of the time, we know that it's men paying out alimony. Let's stop the cap. Let's not even start acting like we don't know this. All right. So one of the things we're going to talk about too is the fact that the stipulations on this particular alimony law now. But permanent alimony is something that occurs for someone to pay out spousal support to someone else, and they pay them alimony until, and this all depends on the states, but overall, it is you pay the alimony until you pass away. This is what it was in Florida. You pay the alimony until you died, right? So you got alimony until you passed away, or you receive alimony until you got remarried. Okay. And it's another stipulation as well, but it was permanent. So even if the person got married, I believe, that was paying out the alimony, they still had to pay it. So yeah, it's like that. So that's one of the things about the alimony that was kind of like, man, like when you get divorced and you go your separate ways or whatnot, do you really want to have this payment or this plan on you all the way until someone else has passed away? Like, even if I'm paying alimony, even if I get married, I still have to pay alimony. Like, that's kind of wild. You know what I'm saying? So what's the point of me even getting married again? You know what I'm saying? Like, almost in that sense when it comes to a business perspective. But here in Florida, they banned the permanent alimony law. We got a couple things here we're gonna deep dive into. We're gonna deep dive into this video that we got from this young lady that reported this. I think this is Channel 6 News from Florida, from South Florida News. And also we got some information from the Pensacola News Journal paper that we're going to get into. It's going to give us a little bit of a deep dive into it. It ain't going to give us too much info, but it's going to give us enough info to get the general idea of what's going on with this. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get it popping, get it started. Let me go ahead and let me see if I can do this real quick. Yeah, let's do it that way. All right. So this is this young lady right here. She's a reporter or whatnot, and she's going to be reporting this in 2 minute videos, not too long. But it's just going to give us a little bit of a general idea of what's going on with this Florida ban of alimony. Again, Florida bans permanent alimony law. So it's no longer permanent. All right. It's no longer permanent. You cannot request alimony until you die anymore in Florida. And at least in Florida, I haven't heard anything else from any other states. It's only particularly talking about Florida. Governor DeSantis signed off on this bill, and it has rendered services July the 1st of this year. This is when it kicked off and kicked in, and it's that effective. So if you can see this, that's cool. But matter of fact, let me go back the other way. Let me just do it this way. Yeah, let me do it this way so that way you can really see it. All right, so let's get it popping.
If you're going through a divorce, listen up. A new bill signed by Governor DeSantis creating big changes to alimony starting July 1st. It essentially eliminates permanent alimony in the state of Florida, and it allows ex-spouses to more easily make changes to the alimony once they reach retirement. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's break it all down.
Even when they reach retirement, all right? So that's huge, man, because again, when you get divorced and things of that nature in certain states, man, I mean the spouse that you're paying alimony to, they get entitled to everything you got, including your pension, including your retirement plans and things like that. And especially if you come into a situation where you're already established and the other person is not, and you elevated them from one income to another, and then they get almost everything that you got. I mean, come on now, that's kind of crazy. If we flip it the other way around, if women had to do that, they're gonna say something about it, and which is rightfully so. And I'm gonna say something about it too as a man. How about that? We all in the same boat together. Let's get it popping.
Judges can now reduce or terminate alimony support or maintenance payments after considering factors like the age and health of the person.
Okay, age and health of person making payments. So these are the terms under consideration for alimony modifications. All right. So the age and health of the person making the payments. Okay, what if they're getting older? They can't do a lot of stuff. Their health is in question. You know, they let's say, for instance, they got a terminal disease or whatever the case may be. You know, can you modify the alimony for that reason? Yes. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Retirement age of that person's occupation. You know, like when you get 65, 70 years old, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that still paying alimony, people that are that age. Can you modify the alimony for those reasons? Yes. You know, economic impact modification would have on a recipient. Okay, so economic impact modification that would have on recipient. That's another reason to be able to modify alimony. Yes. And then motivation for retirement or likelihood of returning to work for a person making the payments. Yes, that's another reason or another condition or consideration for alimony modification. All right, so these are very, very important modifications and considerations because of the fact that, you know, when you get to a certain point in a certain age, you don't want to, and you get to a certain income, you don't want to be out here paying nothing extra. Now, for another grown person that's able to take care of themselves, that other person is able to take care of themselves. They're able to do and render for themselves what they need to do, and then you have to take care of them. No, that is a big no, man. No one wants to do that, right? I mean, you don't want to. No one wants to do that. And it gets deeper because we're going to talk about people that's been married for 20 plus years too. It's a deeper situation for them as well. But for the most part, a lot of days in this day and age, recently, I believe, I did some research here, and it said that the average marriage duration in this generation is 7 to 8 years, right? I talked about this on getting a dating after divorce show. I talked about the fact that the average duration or the average marriage duration lasts for about 7-8 years, 7.5 years for like men. It's like 7.8 for men, like 7.5 for women. It's around the same. Okay. And who remarries the most would be men, and well, men actually remarry more, but the women who get divorced on the second marriage, their marriage lasts even shorter, right? So it's a pool of information that has to be considered when it comes to these type of modifications. And then when it comes to this type of concept here, you know, alimony, paying it until you die and all that kind of stuff, that's a bit much. And paying for someone else, an able-bodied human being that is able to take care of themselves, all of a sudden they want to get alimony for the rest of their life. Yo, that's insane. So let's keep moving. Let's keep going.
Person making the payments, the retirement age of that person's occupation, the economic impact a reduced alimony would have on the recipient of the payments, and the motivation for retirement and likelihood of returning to work for the person making those payments. Now, this bill will also set a 5-year limit on what is known as rehabilitative alimony.
Rehabilitative alimony, yo, that's insane. Okay, listen, rehabilitative alimony. We're going to get into this. We definitely going to get into this because Florida on some other stuff right now. Florida, hey, DeSantis said, look here, man, we're not about to be paying these alimonies like this. Right? And we ain't about to be doing this now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is deep. So rehabilitative alimony. What is that? We're going to break it down. Let's keep going.
Which is intended to provide financial support to a spouse until they are financially self-sufficient. And under the new law, couples married for less than 3 years will not be eligible for alimony payments. And now,
look at that. All you people out here that's trying to have these short marriages and try to break up and get some money out of somebody, you ain't going to be able to do it. You are not going to be able to do it. You've been married less than 3 years and you want full spousal support from somebody else. Are you outside of your mind? Florida said, nope, that scam is not, that hustle is not going to work with us. That hustle is not going to work with us. That's what Florida is saying. That hustle is not going to work with us. Nope. You can't do that no more. We ain't no more short-term marriages, short-term quick marriages and stuff like that. And you get a whole bunch of bread. You get a whole bunch of bread. Nah, man. Nope. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Florida said, nah, we ain't doing that. You got to put some skin in the game. I don't understand that. You get married, you want to have these 2-year marriages, and you want full payment benefits from it. Really? Yo, man. That's insane. That's insane to me, dog. But that Florida, like, no, we're not doing that. Nope. You are not going to be able to go inside Ray's Boom Boom Room for 5 minutes and get all the liquor. you're not gonna be able to do that no more. You feel me? So this is the thing, man. Less than 3 years, no alimony at all. You're not even eligible for alimony. This is the new alimony laws in Florida. This is what's going on in Florida. Florida is banning the permanent alimony law. You can't get alimony until you die, and you can't get alimony until you get remarried anymore. Nope. It's all modified now. All right. It's all modified now. Less than 3 years, no alimony. You get nothing. You get nothing. And let's just think about this. You're a well-able-bodied human being. All right. So all of this entitlement stuff, listen, it's about to run out. All this feeling entitlement and you deserve this and that, all of it is about to run out. You are about to run out of options. You're going to have to stick in it. You're going to have to stick in there, hang in there. You're going to have to do all of that. No more short little marriages. Not in Florida. They like, nah, not in Florida. No more short marriages. No more wire hangers. Ah, boy. Yeah, man. I found this to be very, very interesting. Less than 3 years, no money. Now, listen to me. The alimony is you can still get alimony, but it ain't going to be forever. It's going to have a cap to it. It's got stipulations to it. It got modifications to it. I'm telling you, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. All right. So we're going to dive more into it. Let's go.
You have to be married 20 years or longer in order to be eligible to receive payments for up to 75% of the term of the marriage.
75% of the term of the marriage. I'm sorry to keep stopping, but 75% of the term of the marriage, which means that you will get alimony for 75% of the time you were married. So if you're married 20 years, you can get alimony for 15 years and etc. You'll be eligible for up to 75%. Eligible for up to 75% of the term of marriage. Now, within that, I don't know if they're going to factor in like infidelity or cheating or irresponsible behaviors and all. Like it's a whole nother level to that, because you're eligible for up to 75%. That don't mean you're going to get 75% of the term of the marriage having alimony payments rendered unto you. So this is very interesting. It gets better.
Marriage.
The new bill that was just signed into law on July the 1st, 2023 will not apply retroactively to the cases that the parties already entered into a settlement agreement or there's already been a judicial determination. My understanding is that it will in fact apply to cases that have already been filed, but they're still in progress. And there's
so they can't go back. Yo, I was married. I got a case going on. Like, not yet. If you filed recently, yeah. But if you had a case that's already done, you can't go back and get that modified. That's a wrap. This is moving forward. Now, this has been effective since July 1st. So I want y'all to keep that in mind as well. Let's go.
There's not been a final order entered or a settlement agreement, as well as any new cases that will be filed in the future.
The law is being met with mixed reactions. Some groups like Florida Family Fairness, they're applauding this, saying that it does make things more fair, while other groups like the First Wife Advocacy Group, they are saying that this could be devastating.
Did you hear what she said, dog? Listen to what she said.
in the future.
The law is being met with mixed reactions. Some groups like Florida Family Fairness, they're applauding this, saying that it does make things more fair.
Florida Family Fairness saying, you know what, this is a fair thing.
While other groups like the First Wife Advocacy Group,
of course, it's gonna be a bunch of women who's like, hold on, we ain't gonna be able to live off our ex-husbands no more. Oh, we pissed. We are upset. We are upset. They are upset about it, man. Now, what makes you think this was gonna last forever? I'm quoting Jay-Z right now. He said, all good things must come to an end. That's a fact. That is a fact. You had a good thing going on, so you thought. And now they're like, no, it's not fair to the person making the payment. They got to pay alimony until you die or until you get remarried. And if you're getting a nice amount of money per month, you're not going to try to get remarried. Why would you? Oh, but the First Wives Advocacy Program, we just think this is going to mess up all the people. Let's get matter of fact, she going to say it. I'm going to let her say it. I'm going to let this lady say it. Go ahead.
that it does make things more fair, while other groups like the First Wife Advocacy Group, they are saying that this could be devastating to older women that depend on this money.
That do what? That depend on this money. Why are you depending on another able-bodied person to take care of you and you divorce them? Oh, Jesus. Oh, boy. Why? What is wrong with your legs, your hands, your brain? What is wrong with you? Again, I see if you put some skin in the game, I got you. I understand. All right, you put 15 years, 20 years in, I get it. I was married for a decade. I get it. I understand it. But listen to me, though. At a certain point, that is going to drain the other person. You depending on them. That means that person has to still take care of you, but he can't reap the benefits of being with you either. And I deserve, because I was there from the beginning and he had nothing. But did you do anything to build him up? Was you married at the time? What is it? All the things that you went through, yeah, I get it. That's what's up. You went through these things together. That's what's up. But when you divorce somebody, you're done with them, then be done. If you're going to be done with someone, then be done with them. Uh-oh. I don't know. We might not get a lot of clicks on this show. Not today. If you done with somebody, be done with them. Why is it that you need anything from someone that you don't want to be with anymore? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And we not talking about kids because that's a separate thing from alimony. Alimony has nothing to do with children. Nothing. Absolutely zero. That's all about the woman getting money. Is there a man getting alimony? Yes. How many men get alimony? A very small amount. A very small amount. It's almost laughable, the amount of alimony that men get. So let's cut that cap right then and there at the knees. Let's cut it right at the knees. The first, you heard what she said. First Wives Advocacy Group is saying this is devastating for the women who depend on this, who's been sitting around, frolicking around, doing nothing with themselves. Now all of a sudden they pissed off because they ain't gonna get the money that they've been getting for the longest. Oh, why? Why you depend on someone who just mistreated you so bad and was like, what? So if you done, then what is it? I tell you what it is. You're angry and you're vengeful. You're angry, you're vengeful, you're feeling entitled, you feel like you're supposed to get this or you're supposed to get that and all that kind of stuff. And this man is supposed to be taking care of you, even though y'all not together until you die or remarry. And if you don't remarry and he does, he still got to pay you alimony. That is insanity. That's absolutely insane. And the First Wives Advocacy Group is upset about it. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. Because now you can't depend on nobody. Sean Tillman in the building. What up, Doe? What up, Doe? Yeah. So that's what it is. So now this is the issue. Now, I mean, anybody is welcome to come on the panel. I got the link. I put the link in the chat if you want to come up and talk about it. But this is one of the things that this has already taken effect July 1st, effective July 1st. Okay, let's keep watching real quick and we'll get into the article.
It is a lot to break down, so we've got it all for you right now at NBC6.com. I'm Heather Walker with NBC6 News.
All right, Heather Walker, we appreciate you. Okay, so let's get into this article real quick, right? So one of the things I want to get into is this headline right here that says Florida's new alimony overhaul bill. SB 1416 kills permanent alimony, and this is what the bill does. So 4 bills and a decade of emotional clashes later, Governor Ron DeSantis signed a new Florida law that will overhaul the state's alimony laws, including ending what is known as permanent alimony. It's done. It's done away with. Completely done. DeSantis signed, I'm right here in case y'all following. DeSantis signed the new measure, SB 1416, into law on Friday, a year after, and this report was written on July 3rd, 2023. So July 1st was that Friday. A year after he vetoed a similar bill that would have also eliminated permanent alimony while also setting up a formula for alimony amounts based on the length of the marriage. Okay, so that's something that we saw in that video. In that video, we saw that if you were married 20 plus years, you are now eligible up to 75% of the term of the marriage. So you can max out at 15 years. If you was married for 20 years, you max out at 15 years, basically. Okay, and you can get alimony up to that term, up to that time of the marriage. But if you don't have alimony, if you was married less than 3 years, you get a donut. You get zero, right? You don't get no money at all. So if you was married for a year and a half, 2 years, and you live in Florida and you get divorced, you ain't getting no money. All right. So let's see how long these marriages last. Let's see how long these marriages last. 3 years or less, you get zero. You got to have 20 years in the game in order to get 75% of the term of marriage. That's the max eligibility that you have. All right. Now, there's other factors. Again, we talked about that in the video. There's other factors in the modification of alimony, which means if a person's age or their health is in jeopardy, they can modify their alimony, which means they won't be able to pay it for any type of reason. They're sick, they're going through whatever the case may be. They will not get penalized for not paying alimony. The economic age, the economic status of the person receiving the payments. Once that person gets some bread, if that person getting a lot of money and you like, hey, I'm giving you alimony and you making $120,000 a year, yo, let me modify that real quick. Let me modify that $5,000 a month that I'm giving you. You know what I'm saying? And so that's another consideration to modify the alimony. Modify almost to the point to eradicate it permanently, right? And then also, it's another thing called rehabilitative alimony, which is we're going to get into in a second. Okay. SB 14 is the fourth. Hold on. Here it is. SB 14 right there is the fourth bill of its kind that aimed to kill permanent alimony in the past decade, along with the 2022 version DeSantis vetoed last year. Let's go down here a little bit. Florida's new alimony law went into effect Saturday. Not only does away with permanent alimony, but it also sets a 5-year limit of what is known as rehabilitative alimony, allows alimony payers to seek modification under certain conditions and more. Here's what you need to know. Okay, we got Sean in the building. Let me bring you up real quick. To seek modification. Where'd it go? You gotta turn the TV down in the back. Bring it up real quick. What's going on? What's going on? This is one of our. You gotta mute that.
Hey,
If
I'm
you can't,
doing
yeah,
it right now.
yeah. This is one of our moderators, y'all. Say what's up again. What's up again? All right. So you wanna dive into it already. So what's up?
I'm joining in. I'm just realizing what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's deep, ain't it? Deep in the rap.
It's definitely deep. I mean, I'm not for alimony anyway. I never did like alimony. Even when I went through a divorce and my ex asked for alimony, I thought that was crazy. So I'm not for it anyway. So I'm just listening as you're talking and reading it, and I was like, let me just join in.
Okay.
As you go, and if I have a question, if I have a comment, I'm gonna add mine in.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you for joining the show. I'm gonna go ahead and continue reading the article. All right. Feel free to chime in if you see something interesting. All right. So we're gonna get into Florida SB 1416 ends permanent alimony. So this is the end of it. Now, this is not the end of alimony, people. All right. This is just the end of the permanent alimony, which allows you to receive payments until you either die or get remarried. Now, this is the state of Florida. This is only in the state of Florida. I have not seen anything across the U.S. This is only in the state of Florida. So all the Floridians down there, I know the men are happy. Those men are excited. I bet they are. All right. It says here that it will allow judges to reduce or terminate alimony, support, or maintenance payments after considering several factors, such as the age and health. This is the rehabilitative alimony we're talking about. It's 4 types. We're gonna get into them in a second. It has the age and health of the person who makes payments, the customary retirement age of that person's occupation, the economic impact a reduction in alimony would have on the recipient of the payments, and the motivation of retirement and likelihood of returning to work for the person making the payments. So really, the person that's making the payments are able to get these things modified for these particular reasons. These are the reasons that the state of Florida is saying they will consider. They will consider these reasons: your age and your health. They're going to consider the retirement age of your occupation, which means that if you have a job and your retirement is at the 30th year, once you're done, then you can say, "Hey, state of Florida, how you doing? I would like to modify my payment since my income is going to be fixed, since my income is going to have just a particular. I would like to lessen the amount of alimony, and plus that other person that I'm making alimony to, they're making more money than me at this point now that I'm retiring. I'm living off my retirement. So can I get that modified? The state of Florida is like, you know what? We're going to put that into consideration, and they will let you know if it get modified. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Hey, that is what's up, Florida. Okay, there's the 4 types of alimony. The state now recognizes are temporary, bridge the gap, rehabilitative. Is now capped at 5 years, and durational. Now the rehabilitative is interesting. It's capped at 5 years, which means that within a 5-year time frame, if you get into rehabilitative alimony, you have 5 years to get your together. Otherwise, the payments are going to be done away with. Now, me personally, I think 5 years is too long. What about you? What do you think, Sean? You think 5 years too long?
I do. And the only why I'm saying that is I don't, like I said, I'm not for alimony. I'm just really trying to figure, like, and maybe it's just a personal thing, like what really do they gain? Well, I know what the other person would gain who's paying the alimony too. They, wherever, you know what I'm saying? But I just feel like if y'all decided to get a divorce, and whatever that situation is, you know, and like I said, I'm just speaking on like a personal issues, like when my ex asked for alimony, and I thought that was crazy.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing about it is this. Okay, so this is the thing. It's crazy. Is it not? It's crazy for him to ask for it. Would it be? Is it also crazy for the woman to ask for it?
Yes, because I wouldn't even if I was in a situation where I made it less than him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like, as long as he's taking care of his kids, I don't feel like he has to take care of me because we decided to get a divorce.
Thank you.
That's not that's not neither one of our responsibility as for each other, because we decided to end it.
Yeah.
So what the heck? I'm paying you, or
So
he paying me alimony for?
I said this on IG Live. I said the best divorce is terrible. It feels terrible. If people, if those that are watching and those that will be watching soon, once this video is done, this live is over. Yo, being divorced, getting a divorce, it gets messy. It gets kind of messy, and you don't really realize who you married until you start getting divorced. That junk. Sometimes you be like, "Yo, I didn't even know you was. I know you was petty, but I didn't know you was like evil petty, like maliciously petty, right?" But one of the things I talked about on IG Live is the fact that it's good to be able to have someone that you can have a reasonable negotiation with in the divorce process, especially when you have kids involved. If you can talk it out, and actually,
I'll be right back.
okay, if you can talk it out and actually have a reasonable conversation and a reasonable standard of how we're going to do this divorce thing or whatever, then the kids wouldn't have to suffer for any type of like strung along crazy breakup. Your daddy ain't this, your mom ain't this, and then, all that kind of craziness. Like it eliminates that dynamic for sure. So that's something that I think reasonable adults should be able to do this. All right, let's move on to the article until Sean come back. It says here that the second section of SB 1416 states that the party seeking support, maintenance, or alimony now has the burden of proving their need for support and the party's ability to pay. Yo, here we go. Okay. Yo, you got to prove that you need support. Again, if you only been married for 3 or less years, don't even worry about it. Just find you a job, because they're not about to play with you. Nope. You know what I'm saying? They're not about to play with you. If you can prove that you need support, and you can prove that the other person has the ability to give you the support that you need, then you have to render the burden on that. You have to now give a reason as to why you want support and to why you need it. All right. So this is not just, oh, we get divorced and all of a sudden I just get alimony now. No, not in Florida. You got to prove. You first got to prove before you even get into the whole payments situation. You have to prove that you actually need it. Let's go. So what is permanent alimony? Well, we already know what that is. Okay. It's a form of alimony that is paid until the spouse receive the benefit, dies, remarries, or enters a supportive relationship. So even if you're in a relationship with someone and y'all live together and all that kind of stuff, if someone else is supporting you, then you still have the ability to receive alimony. That's what permanent alimony is. All right. That's what it was before July 1st, because Florida said, "Nuh-uh, we're not doing that." Okay. So the permanent alimony is paid up until the benefit dies, the beneficiary dies, remarries, or enters into supportive relationship. All right. Up until those points, you can get the alimony. But if you are in a supportive relationship and all that kind of stuff, nope. If you remarry, nope. If you die, of course. right? So that's that. Now the new SB 1416 adds new considerations for alimony awards. All right. So you have several new considerations. Courts must now factor when determining whether or not to award alimony. Courts must lay out findings of fact for the type of alimony awarded to serve as the basis for the length of time any rewards is due. So what that's basically saying is the courts have to lay out, they must lay out the actual fact of what type of alimony you want to be rewarded. There's 4: temporary, bridge the gap, rehabilitative, and durational alimony. That's it. Those are the 4. You cannot get permanent alimony anymore. You can't get it. So you can't let this be a drawn out process, because that's what was happening. In permanent alimony, people was not remarrying on purpose. People was not getting into relationships on purpose. So that way they could reap the benefits of getting alimony from somebody else that's hardworking, that's doing their thing, that has to make these payments. Now they're saying, you know what? Since permanent alimony is gone, now you have to show proof of why you need alimony. You have to show proof that you need support. And now you get one type of the 4. You don't get all 4 types. You only get one type of the 4: the rehabilitative, the bridge the gap, temporary, and durational alimony. Those are the 4 types. You can't get all of them. All right. Let me scroll down a little bit more here because it gets a little juicy. Durational alimony. I want to dive into this. It says the new law caps durational alimony to 3 years or less. This is the 3-year joint that we saw in the video. Okay. And those terms are limited based on the duration of the marriage, with certain exceptions, and may not exceed the lesser of the obligates reasonable need of, or 35% of the difference between the parties' net incomes. So this right here is like 3 years or less, and the terms are limited based on the duration of the marriage. So if you are in a situation where the marriage lasts, let's say a cap of 3 years, and it's like, okay, we can split the difference in net income, and then you get the difference. You don't get the whole entitlement of the payment. You get the split it difference. This also changes when you get to retire. If you get married 3 years or less and you don't have any type of proof of why you need support, first of all, you're not even going to be eligible for alimony anyway. 3 years or less? Nope. Now 20 plus years, you get up to 75% of the term of the marriage, up to 75% of the term of the marriage. So you're basically going to get only 3/4. That's what you're maxed out at. You're eligible for the 75%. That don't mean you're going to actually get the entire 75%.
So I got a question, Tay. Because I guess this is a new law that they coming up with, because haven't it been where if someone is paying alimony, the only way that they end that alimony is if they had gotten married again? Am I correct?
Right. Yeah, that's what it was in Florida. And it's like
Okay.
that in other states now.
Okay. So now you're saying if they've been married 20 plus years, they get 75%?
Yeah, 75% of the term of the marriage. So basically what it is if you've been married for 20 years, you're only eligible to have about 15 years worth of alimony. You're eligible for up to 15 years of it, because that's 75% of the marriage term.
So are they just basing this off of because they've been married for so long, and he or she is saying, okay, well, we get a divorce, I need alimony because I can't do this full income by myself?
So this is where it gets to be interesting, because if a man marries a woman and he tells his woman, I want you to be a stay-at-home mom, I'm the breadwinner. Some women are cool with that. I want to be clear. I know this is the Mailroom Network, but we love the ladies, all right? There's some ladies out here that are willing to be domestic, stay at home, raise the family, raise the kids, and do all that. And so she's been out the workforce ever since she done got married.
Okay.
Now, if you're out the workforce for 20 years, ain't nobody trying to marry you. I mean, ain't nobody trying to hire you because you don't know nothing. you don't know anything, right?
But yeah,
Okay.
because you gotta start all over. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to start all over again from scratch because you've been out the workforce for 20 years. If you want to get hired at my company, and I look at your resume, and the last thing I see was you had an engineering job in 2001. Okay, now here it is. You about to get divorced. It's 2000, about to be 24 in this month, and then all of a sudden, it's like I want an engineering job. With who? with who? because think about it. The technology has changed. The engineering design field has changed. It's elevated. We have AI technology now. All kind of stuff that we're implementing. You're antiquated in your knowledge because you've been a stay-at-home mom. You put that degree to the side or whatever the case may be. Now, even though that's a very good degree as a part of the STEM field, but at the same time, you don't have the experience. So if you've been out the workforce for 20 years, you done raised 3 kids, you know what I'm saying, and then you get divorced and everything, you don't have how are you going to actually survive out here in the world without that man? You probably won't be able to. That's the reality of the situation. So if they say, hey, 20 years, you've been in the game for 20, you've been married for 20 plus years, and now y'all getting divorced, and you've been a stay-at-home mom for the entirety of the marriage. He took you out the workforce. Yes, you're eligible for alimony for at least up to 75% of the time you was married. That gives you enough time to at least get on your feet. If you can't get on your feet in the 2-3 year span, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's different. Sometimes when a man has built everything from scratch, and then you come in, and I don't know what happened, but when you come in, when a man build everything from scratch, and you come in, and he shares this with you, and he like, yo, you stay. I want you to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to have a family. I want to raise my kids. You know what I'm saying? I want them to have both parents in the house. Blah blah blah, whatever. And then something happens where y'all get divorced. Then, if you have a husband, if you have a man that is actually decent, has some decency about himself, some integrity about himself, he will most likely be willing to make sure you good anyway, because you're the mother of his kids. Now, also, sometimes when that happens, there are times where the woman has to go back home to her parents. I talked about this in my IG live, that I met a Muslim woman one time that got divorced from her husband. She lived in Nigeria. When she had to come, her family moved here in the States, and she moved here in the States and went back to her mom and dad, because the man went to the father, said, I no longer want to be married to your daughter for these reasons, boom, 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 and I want to divorce her. And the father said, okay, bring my daughter to me, and he did that. This is when that's a different culture of marriage, right? Now, it kind of happens even in the States, where sometimes the lady and the kids go with her and the mom and auntie and cousin and trying to figure out where she can lay her head at, because of the fact that she's been out the workforce for so long. She really don't know how to navigate in that space. She has to be taught all over again. She got to get her resume updated. She got to get all that kind of stuff. So if she's going to get alimony for up to 75% of the marriage, I mean, I can understand that to a degree. You know what I'm saying? I can definitely understand that, because she doesn't have the tools to make it in this modern world, because the knowledge you had was from 2001. You know, it's 2023, dog. Like, are you really trying to be an engineer for real? Are you really trying to? Do you really want to be a nurse now?
They got to figure out something to get back out there, or
exactly.
I mean, I hear and understand what you're saying. I get it. I definitely hear and understand what you're saying, and I think, and I do get it. You know, and you are gonna have some ladies gonna be like, dang, I'm really out here, like, I got to start all over again. Then you got some that just gonna have to just come to reality, like, dang, I definitely got to get out here and do what I need to do. And it would just be smart of them to, with if it's 75% that, you know, they got to get that stuff together, is to either go back to school to get, you know, speed up and do something.
And the key word is eligible. So that means that eligible up to 75%. This is one of the things about people. They don't like to read sometimes. It's like, listen, when somebody says you are eligible up to something, that means that's the cap. That means, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that the whole 15 years you're going to get alimony. It doesn't necessarily mean that, you know what I'm saying? But you could get up to 75% of the term. So even if you was married 20 years and they say, well, you're eligible for 11 years of it. Okay, that means that man has to pay alimony for 11 years or until she gets on her feet, which is where the rehabilitative thing come into place. So if he say, you know what, can we get rehabilitative alimony instead of the 75-year durational alimony and 75% durational alimony? Can we get that? If the judge say, yeah, that means it's capped off at 5 years. That means that woman has 5 years to get herself together. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. Like I said, it's a small amount of men that get alimony from women or spousal support, but they have it's the same rule apply on both sides, which makes it more fair. But according to the video we just saw, the First Wives Advocacy the company or organization, they're like, oh my God, it's so many women that depend on this. This is unfair. No, get your ish together. And stop trying to hustle. Stop trying to hustle somebody out some money. Exactly. So that's the thing right there. So that I found that to be a very interesting story. And thank you for coming on. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. You gonna stick around? You gonna stick around?
Sure.
Okay, cool. We're gonna take a commercial break real quick. You know what I'm saying? You know how I like to do, but we're gonna deep dive into because it's a whole thing over here. We're going to deep dive into the contract with Black America. Okay, so I did the thumbnail on purpose this way because a lot of people are unfamiliar with the contract with Black America, and so this is something that Ice Cube had done with some professional socioeconomic doctors and very prominent men and women on his team to develop this. And there was an interview from 2 years ago or so. He was on the platform. He was on Fox Soul, and he was on the show called Cocktails with Queens.
I sound like I heard of that too.
And it has Vivica Fox and Claudette Morgan and Selena Johnson and Lisa Ray. And we're gonna deep dive into this interview because we're gonna go back to fast forward, all right, and then we're gonna get into the Ice Cube Tucker Carlson interview. Then we're gonna close out. All right, so hey, everybody, stick around real quick. This your boy Tay Biz. We're gonna be right back in a minute.
Today, but you know how it is. You know, we gonna talk from our perspective, and our lovely mail carriers, we know y'all gonna be tapping in. So I think we're gonna have a good show today, man. What y'all think?
Sure, absolutely.
Hey, school here.
Oh yeah. All right, man. Y'all ready?
Let's go.
All right, man. First topic of the day, fellas. Does a man's weakness in women cause him to be double-minded?
Relationship to move forward, that person is going to overprocess and overthink as well. So there's procrastination. So it shows up in different forms of personalities. And anybody that's watching, you one of them four personalities?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Procrastinating somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of people that's like that. I know for sure. I know I'm like a mixture of the analytical, for sure. Think too much sometimes. Overthinking to be like, you know what? Let me just wait till I get some more info.
Yeah.
You know, I need some more. I need some more.
More, then you need some more.
Yeah.
Are people asking you, are you strong and independent? Like I can see it from that nature, but in a normal dating atmosphere, if I recall, I don't be asking those type of questions. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think that's why we're trying to relate the fact that this doesn't have to be set.
Yo, that was a commercial break. Yo, thank you for coming back to Coffee and Conversations. We appreciate you sticking with us. Put a coffee mug in the chat if we're doing all right for you today. But I want to just shout out again to fellas to the Mailroom Network, man, Warlow and JB the Gent, the other two owners of the Mailroom Network. And so we do have the off season of the Mailroom Show. So if you want to go back in season 2 and watch some of the old clips, you can, the old shows, you please do that. Binge watch us. We are binge watch worthy. I'm telling you. All right. And on top of that, we have every Saturday at 11:30 right here on the Mailroom Network. We have coffee and conversation with your boy, yours truly. And yo, the last episode, the season finale of Coffee Conversation is coming up. And guess who's going to be on the show? The fellas is going to be on the show. They're going to end the boy. They're going to end the boy with your boy. You feel me? So we definitely want to make sure that, you know, you all tune in. All that kind of stuff, you know, Sean over there doing housework. But anyway, we definitely want to make sure that you are a part of the Mailroom Network at all times. We got shorts, clips, and things like that. We do have the Mailroom Reacts, which is another like spinoff of our show. Well, another video reaction show that we do. It's pre-recorded, but we're going to be premiering some stuff. We're going to be doing some live stuff soon and all that kind of good stuff. Mailroom After Dark will be back, so don't worry about that. That's coming soon, but we will have a date for you soon for the season 3 of the Mailroom Show. So stick around, and we're going to get right into it now. All right. So, contract with Black America. All right. So this is Ice Cube. All right. So the contract with Black America is a very interesting concept that Ice Cube came up with. So basically, he's trying to bridge the wealth gap in the Black community when it comes to opposed to the white community. And so he felt like it was some unfairness going on, and he really, this is after the George Floyd situation, where he really started talking about, okay, we're fighting for a lot of things, but for some reason, when it comes to the money aspect, we just lay down and take it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to read this manifesto real quick from Ice Cube himself that I found. All right. And I want to read this real quick. Let me see here. I want to just basically read the bill. It says the bill to guarantee Black opportunity and representation. This part of the bill, this part of the manifesto right here is basically explaining why he came up with contract with Black America. As a matter of fact, one of the first organizations to actually pledge or donate money to Ice Cube for this particular movement was the NFL. The NFL gave Ice Cube $100 million. $100 million. And they pledged it. They donated a lot, pretty much all of it. And so he has been actively getting people to, you know, have their own businesses, the people that have their own businesses, giving them opportunities and things like that. So I want to just read number 1. It says bill to guarantee Black opportunity and representation. Adopt a plan of neo-reconstruction to redress past wrongs systematically imposed on Black Americans economically throughout many generations that has resulted in a wealth gap where the average white family has 10 times the wealth of a Black family. In addition to some of the economic initiatives listed below, also formally apologize to Black Americans for past discrimination and slavery. Additionally, Black opportunity and representation will include affirmative action in schools, public and private. Well, you know, they did away with affirmative action already. Per student funding in states on an equal basis instead of paid by local property taxes, black representation on all government civil rights bodies, civil rights classes mandatory in elementary schools, gerrymandering reform, additional polling places in black and minority neighborhoods, Juneteenth to become a federal holiday. Hello. So Ice Cube, see, this is why I wanted to read this manifesto. We have Juneteenth as a federal holiday now, right? And guess who said it first? Mr. Yay himself. Yay. All right. This man said, yo, we want Juneteenth to become a holiday, a federal holiday. And it became just that. All right. I got a question though. What is gerrymandering? Hold on. Let's find out what that is. I'm being really gerrymandering definition. What is that? It says manipulate the boundaries of an electoral constituency so as to favor one party or class, achieved by manipulating the boundaries of an electoral constituency. Okay. All right. So basically like manipulating people's votes and all that kind of stuff. All right. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Gerrymandering reform. All right. Don't be manipulating nobody, man, with their votes and all that kind of stuff. I got you. Okay, cool. All right. So that's one thing. Okay. Then it's going to say, now we're going to go to the bank lending reform. It says bank lending will be regulated to require banks to lend a percentage of all loan and credit categories on an equal basis to the black population each bank serves. However, the minimum threshold must yearly meet the percentage equal to the national black population, which is currently approximately 13.4%. This is 2020. All right. So this is a few years ago. Rates on, and it's around the same. Rates on black loans federally and from banks to be same average rates as whites. Okay. So he's saying, look, man, we want fair bank loans. We want fair opportunity on all of that. Now, again, this is the extent from Martin Luther King Jr. when he was gathering people together, when he did the Southern Conference Leadership organization, when he was, the civil rights leader. He talked about, there's a video of Dr. King talking about how when slaves were gone, when slaves were, released, when they were free, but they was also mandated to pick themselves up by their own bootstraps and figure it out. The 40 acre and a mule was an actual thing. And so they never got that. They never got their land. They never got any of that. And Martin Luther King said, when we go to Washington, D.C., we going to collect. This is what he said before the I Have a Dream speech. He said it in his church with his organization. It is a video. It's easy to find. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it, you can look it up and find it. You know what I'm saying? But because I want to get into it too much, because I want to get into Ice Cube. But basically he's saying, yo, we coming to collect our money. And I get this vibe from this manifesto. Now how you feel about it so far, what I read so far with Ice Cube? Like, what you think about it?
I mean, I think it's a good thing. I feel like it's a good thing that what he have did. I don't see anything wrong with it at all.
Okay.
I feel like we deserve the opportunity.
I mean, this is the land of the free, home of the brave, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
So, so I think that especially Americans, especially black people who are born here, should have the same opportunities as anybody, any citizen. You know what I'm saying? This is the whole point of being a part of the land of the free. The problem is, to me, this is my opinion, the problem is that America has become a melting pot. And it's just like anything goes. It's no real structure here. It's no real structure here from a moral standpoint. It's no structure here from a business standpoint. It's no structure here from a governmental standpoint. Like you can literally do unethical things in business and get away with it. But if you go to other countries and stuff, if they find out you did something unethical, you go to jail and prison for that stuff.
That's true. That's true.
You see what the sassy trucker went through? She thought she could be sassy and shaking her head and shit and do all this kind of stuff. And then they like, yo, you acting outside of your mind right now. You got to go. We got to detain you. So, you know what I'm saying? She got detained. She's in Dubai for acting out. For acting out like she normally would here. And then we found out that, oh, she's customary of being kind of crazy. When I showed that video of her throwing Coca-Cola on my man, calling him a B word, following him, punching him in the face, the police had to come because she was acting irate. You want me to think she was having a civil conversation with Salim Habu Aziz over there? I don't think so. Nah, I think she was acting a fool. And they like, hey man, we're gonna this chick got to get detained quick. She might be liable to do something. Who knows, right? So you got to be careful. You got to be careful that we don't think that because the way we do things, everybody else does it. I just think that it's a melting pot at this point. Like it's just anything goes. Anything goes, and it's just like it's whatever, you know. And so the structure piece is what I think we're missing. All right, I'm gonna keep reading this manifesto real quick before we get to the video. It says federal funding of baby bonds right here. It says past federal program providing every child with a government funded trust account at birth, starting with $1,000 contribution. Look, this is the contract with Black America. He's talking about people. He's saying, look, I would like for the government, since you want to give out welfare, since you want to give out welfare, how about this? How about you give out a bond, a trust account for every child with $1,000 contribution, and we'll do the rest. Government funded trust account at birth. Yo, man, this dude was on some other stuff. I see why they was giving him hell. As proposed by Senator Booker and Representative Presley, accounts to be managed by the Treasury, and only those born into lower wealth families would receive more contributions each year, up to $46,500. That sounds like retributions to me. That sounds like some retributions to me at birth, and then they fund up to $46,500 for lower wealth families. Okay, that's what he's saying. At age 18, they have access to the funds allowed, but use restricted to asset enhancing actions such as buying homes, starting business, and funding education. This is the manifesto of Ice Cube, Mr. Yay. This is his contract with Black America. This is what he's going to present to the government. Now, you know, remember, Sean, he got hell for meeting with Trump and all that. Remember that?
Yeah.
Him, Kanye, Steve Harvey, all of them, dog.
Yeah.
Hey, man, Black America wanted to kill these dudes, man. You know, but he's going to make I'm telling you, this is going to be a very interesting rest of the show, because he's going to say something. He's going to say something on the Tucker Carlson interview. It's going to be awesome. I'm telling you. But what do you think about that idea? Baby bonds.
I mean,
lower wealth families, which means you're already giving people that has lower wealth, you're already giving them welfare and all this kind of stuff anyway. How about you do something for the child that's born in that impoverished situation? Create a bond, a government funded bond. It's a trust account. They can't touch it till they're 18, and it can only be used for certain things. You can also regulate it for buying a house or starting a business or funding education.
I mean, if it's like that, and if they are really serious about doing it that way, then it's not a bad idea.
I think
you know what I'm saying. That's just like my parents used to tell me, it's like, put some money up in your when your baby is born. So by the time they reach to that age,
see, then they have money to go to school and do all this other stuff. Now, What if that child is born in a situation where the parents are not financially stable enough to take care of them? They could be a married couple.
Yeah.
This is not stipulated on just, they didn't say this is a married couple or a single couple or whatever. This is just the child itself, a black child born in a lower wealth family situation. Create a funded trust account, started off at $1,000, and then make yearly contributions to it up to $46,500. And you can restrict the money when they get 18. So that way they can either do it for these reasons: buying a home, starting a business, or funding education. Yo. Okay, now even though people gave him a lot of flack about this particular mindset about it, it makes sense when it comes to what they're doing already. In other words, it's a reform. It's like, listen, you already giving people welfare. You giving them, you got gleaners, you got welfare, you got all these different programs, right? But welfare mainly is by the government. TANF, the temporary assistance for families and all that kind of stuff. You got all that kind of stuff. Food, you got the food stamp game now. You got the cash assistance. You got the Section 8. You got the even if you're married at a certain income, you can still get WIC. You can do all these kind of things. How about doing something that's going to actually mean something? Instead of you just giving me, instead of you feeding me fish, I want you to start teaching me how to fish so that way I can cook my own fish.
Oh, that's a good that's a good way.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what he's saying. It's like, look, and we're gonna put restrictions on it when they turn 18. Yo, you're gonna have to use this for your education. You gotta have to give yourself an opportunity to teach yourself how to do something, and you can do it use this money for starting a business. But when it comes to clubbing and trying to hang out, no. If you use it for that, it's gonna be some repercussions for it. You see what I'm saying? So because the government regulates stuff anyway, this is just another thing for them to regulate.
Yep.
And it's their money. Now, watch this. This is the funny part. When Obama gave us the incentives, everybody was like, yo, Obama the man. Now this man is saying the same thing in a different way. And now they try to crucify Ice Cube, Mr. Yay. They try to crucify the man for this. Especially the women. Watch this. I'm about to get to it. I'm glad you're on the show. Hold on. I'm about to get to it. For qualified Black Americans, this is number 4, for qualified Black Americans, Federal Reserve to allow a one-time interest-free loan for home ownership. The Fed to ensure banks and institutions it oversees comply with bank lending reform. Fed to adopt modern monetary theory with goal of full employment and avoidance of actual inflation. So listen, the modern monetary theory, that's something that came from a socioeconomic doctor, which he did work with to create this manifesto, right? And by the way, the contract with Black America is something that any Black American can suggest. So there's a website, contract, I think it's contractwithblackамerica.com. The website allows you to be able to add input to what you think should be in the contract. That's what it was in 2020. And he mentioned that on Cocktails with Queens. And I can't wait for you to see this. This is the reason why some of y'all Black women don't get no man. Cause y'all just it's just y'all just because y'all want to be special. See, y'all want to be special and adored. Watch, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about in a minute. Watch. Everybody just stick with me for me. Ride with your boy. You know I love the ladies. You know I love the ladies now. I mean, I ain't got no hate for the ladies, but you know when y'all on that bullshit, I will say you on that bullshit. You know me, huh? You know I will do that. Okay. All right, so we're gonna keep going. All right, so federal, what'd you say?
I just say.
Oh, okay, my bad. Federal and state pension funds cover over $1 trillion. They must allocate 13.4% of their their investments into Black-owned enterprises and businesses. Venture capital and private equity funds that take money public entities must invest 13.4% of their total funds in Black-owned businesses. Okay, if you got $1 million, all he's saying is, hey, can you give us 134,000? Can you just give us 130 and invest in invest in what we do? And it makes sense and it's a good business. He talked about venture capital, which is the actual business capital. Now, working capital is different, but venture capital, that's just the investment in the company. And private equity funds, yo, can we get 13.4% of that? In the Black-owned businesses, not just one Black-owned business, but all of the Black-owned businesses that's around here. Have you noticed lately that the Black-owned businesses are almost damn near gone in the inner cities? The only thing that's holding up strong, the only business that I see that's been holding up strong for a long time is the barbershops and the beauty salons.
Yeah. Okay.
Sister Girl owns LaQuisha Hair Salon, and Brother Man owns Final Cut on the corner of 7 Mile and whatever. And yo, that the businesses like that, they last. They might go through ownership, they might switch up in ownerships, but they still last. You see a barbershop, you can see you can find a barbershop. But what about a business that's like, okay, we want to help people invest their money. We got a Black-owned business person that can help you invest your money. And he has a brick and mortar building. He's going to be there for how long? Right? And unless somebody invests in his business, he will not have no more brick and mortar. So then what he does, he works from his house. Now everything is a tax write-off at his house. He write off his rent or mortgage. He writes off his lights. He writes off his gas. He writes off his gas that he puts in his car. He writes off his mileage. Now you got to do the 1099 stuff. So I know about that 1099. Okay. Your boy had to file 1099. Hey, 1099 ain't no joke, man. Ain't no joke. So all of these things you have to put into consideration. And Cube is like, yo, give us some venture capital so that way we can keep what we have and also be able to work without having so much weight on our shoulders, without having so much responsibility. We got overhead. We got to pay this person, that person. We got so much to pay for it. We run out of money. And unless you have a positive cash flow every quarter of your business, you're not going to be able to even maintain the operations of the business because you got to have a positive cash flow.
That's true.
Look at the WNBA. The WNBA had a positive cash flow twice in 25 years. Ever since then, they have been negative in cash flow, and they have not created a profit at all. The WNBA is a subsidiary of the NBA. They have not made a profit. Do you hear me? It's 25 years old. The WNBA has their parent company is the National Basketball Association. And their entity has negative cash flow every quarter, every year, and it makes no profit. Ticket sales go down even more. And then they want to say, well, the pay gap between the men and women in basketball is crazy to me because the women play basketball at a high level. I need y'all to stop capping. Y'all know women don't even watch women's basketball. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Do you watch women's basketball?
No, I do not.
No, of course you don't. Do you know who LeBron James is?
Yeah.
You know who Cheryl Swoops is?
Nope.
Exactly. And Cheryl Swoops is a legend. Cheryl Swoops is a legend. Nah, it's funny how a man knows, but a woman doesn't. Because women, y'all don't care. Y'all don't care about basketball. All you care about is whatever your man is into. That's another subject.
That is true.
And that's true, right? Because women will say, you know what, I'm not really into football, but if you into it, I'll make sure you got some hot wings. I'll make sure you're good, blah, 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 whatever. Women, y'all love us and hate us at the same time, but that's another show. We're not even gonna get into that.
It really is.
It's another show. It's another show.
It is.
Right.
It's another show.
I'm gonna get off this manifesto real quick. Okay, but this is interesting, all right? Here we go. Cocktails with queens. All right, here go the queens of the cocktails. Look at these queens. Okay, these are the queens. You got Lisa Ray. She's wearing, I think she's wearing the Cowardly Lion wig. And then you got Claudia Moore. Claudia, this lady is just, I don't even want to talk about her. Vivica A. Fox, Selena Johnson. Selena Johnson ain't been hot since Kanye West When It All Falls Down single. That was years ago. I mean, I'm just speaking facts. She ain't been hot. She been singing. She ain't been hot since then. All right. When it all falls down. That's her. That's her. She ain't been hot since then. Is that fact or no?
It's a fact, okay, Tay. It's a fact.
I'm just saying, baby. All right. Okay. So we got Dr. Ice Cube on the show. Ice Cube, who made Lisa Ray relevant. Because everybody knows her as Diamond. You got to, sometimes you got to do what you use what you got to get what you want.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing right now. And here it is. Diamond was trying to go to school and strip and all that kind of stuff. She was trying to date a decent guy and all that kind of stuff. And hey, that didn't work out. But then Jamie Foxx like, hey, I'm feeling you. Yeah, the man. There's always a man. There's always a man somewhere. Here you go. Now, this is interesting because he's talking about in this show, on this interview, and again, this is not our content. We are reacting to this video, so for fair use, I just want to let that be known by YouTube that this particular interview was 2 years ago, 2.5+ years ago, and he's talking. This is around the COVID time. He's talking about the Black Contract with Black America. Contract with Black America was a site that you can go on and you can actually look at the actual contract and what it states. He had a team of men and women who specialized in socioeconomic issues. They specialized also in macroeconomics and microeconomics. So this is like a huge thing. And I mean, he had a good team of people that presented this contract. Now he's talking about the contract and he mentioned Black Americans. He mentioned Black people in the contract, right? Mm-hmm. Watch this. These are y'all queens. These y'all queens, okay? Watch y'all queens. Watch how y'all queens act about this contract with Black America.
I ain't here to fight. Somebody's neck for 9 minutes.
Hold on. Let's get
everybody treated him like the boogeyman. Nobody would go and press him to give things to Black.
He's talking about Trump. He's talking about, now this part right here, he's talking about Donald Trump. Everybody treat him like the boogeyman instead of talking to him. And he has a theory behind why you should talk to your enemies, but that's another. We're gonna get to the interview in a second. But these are the queens. We're gonna get into it. Let's go.
2 Black people. The stuff that he's doing to the rest of the country, I understand that, but we raggedy. We got to get our. We have to press any president that ends up winning. We have to press, or it's not going to work. We can't just press one side.
He says when we do press them that the other people are fine people. I mean, is that right? He won't denounce the people that hurt us and suppress us. And then the policeman had his neck on somebody's neck for 9 minutes. He never supported.
She talking about George. See. She's not even letting the man talk. She's not letting the man talk. She's not letting the man give out what it is that he's trying to say. He the one that came up with the contract with Black America. If anything, you should be more intrigued about how he did this. Yeah. So what did she do? This is what Black folks always do. They want to go to. She went right to the George Floyd thing. She went right to that. How in the world? First of all, I'm so sick of us sometimes. It gets on my nerves. It sticks in my craw. How in the world do you think you can invoke change if you don't use your voice even with people that you don't like? Yeah. I find it very interesting that they pissed off because he had talked to Trump. But these same women she talked to 50 Cent, who blasted her, you know where I'm about to do this. You know me. You know you're a part of the network. You know me. You know who I am. You know who I am.
You about to cook. You go ahead and cook. Go ahead and cook.
You're okay with arguing with a ain't s, because I'm not trying to cuss on coffee, with an ain't s person. You're okay with having a conversation with someone that you just have a disdain for, but you benefit from. But you telling him, don't go talk to Trump about pressing an issue, because the way we as black folks view him, you're supposed to be on our side about that.
Stop the cap.
Seriously? Is that what we really doing? How are we able to have any type of peace or any type of camaraderie if we don't talk to people that we disagree with?
Yeah, that's true.
You may disagree with him morally, but there were some things that Trump did that actually benefited the country for a certain period of time. And it was some things that he did that was just totally outlandish and ridiculous.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, what is it that you're really mad about? You mad at this brother because he talking to Trump. That's all you mad about, because I don't like him. That's like people that say, I don't like LeBron James. Why you don't like LeBron James? I don't know. It's just, I think he arrogant. Well, do you know LeBron? No, you don't know LeBron. Okay, what makes him arrogant? Just the way he talks. Okay, the way he talks make him arrogant. The same man that's been married to the same woman since high school, all his kids, no scandals, never cheated on his woman. He has his own school. He does all this stuff, and on top of that, he's one of the greatest basketball players ever played the game. One of the greatest. Michael Jordan is the GOAT for me, but one of the greatest. And you don't like him because of a personal issue, and you don't know him personally. You are as crazy as hell. So this is what it is. This is the dynamic of these women. Let's continue real quick. I'm gonna continue on with you real quick.
Support them.
Cutting them off.
I'm not here to fight about what he did, what he didn't do. Is he a good white man? Is he a bad white man? To me, they pretty much all the same. So now,
I don't agree with that.
With that said,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with. Can I? I don't agree. I used to be.
Look. I know we've had all kind of presidents, and our situation hasn't changed. So that's why I said they're pretty much all the same.
That's the logic, but that's the context behind what he's saying. They're pretty much all the same because our situation has not changed. As a matter of fact, it has gotten worse.
Yeah.
Now it's so bad to the point where we can't even have good relationships with each other because of all the economic stuff that's going on too. It's all filtered in the same pot. That's why I say this is a melting pot. It's all in the same thing. So Cube logic is on point right here. Watch this.
And when it comes to a president and dealing with our situation.
So let me. I gotta ask this question. Because you're on this show with.
Watch it. Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Listen.
Watch. These are your queens.
Don't be saying my queen.
These are the queens right here. So listen to your queens real quick, and I want to know how you feel about this. Watch this.
So let me. I gotta ask this question. Because you're on this show with the cocktails with the queens, and there's a reason for that. It wasn't to have you defend or not defend Donald Trump. It was about. I care about what's in this contract with Black America for women, and it's not. We're not mentioned at all in the contract with Black America. And I want to know.
I mean, when you mention Black people, you mentioning Black women. So don't count yourself out.
No,
yes,
that's not true.
That's like administration said that when they
Black people is not Black women.
Black
women are not included in Black people.
No.
Did you hear what she said? This is the reason why we cannot get along. She said, nothing in the contract with Black America refers to women. And he said, wait a minute. He said, y'all are mentioned. I said Black people. When you mention Black people, you mentioning Black women. No. We got to have special privileges. This is what makes. What you think? What you think? What you think?
Even on just what she said, because he did mention it. don't know. I just feel like sometimes I feel like that's like it's sad, I guess, as a woman, because we are Black, and it don't have to be in that letter or a particular saying, well, Black queens are included. No, we're part of. We won. At least that's what I thought.
Watch this. Look at this manifesto. Number 4. For qualified Black Americans. Is that women?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Women.
I agree with you. You say what?
I said it's both.
Yeah, it's Black Americans. What he's saying is Black men and women. I want us all to have the opportunities. I want us all to have the opportunities. She said, "Oh, Black women are not mentioned." She wanted like y'all isolated from Black men. That's the problem. Y'all keep trying to isolate yourselves from men, like y'all not included in the bull that's going on out here.
There are one of the women that just feel like, I ain't gonna even say that they feel like they better than men, but they feel like they
do. That's exactly what that is. No, say what it is. Say what it is. They think they better than men. That's why you isolate.
They're better than men, and that they are entitled to have their particular what they won't name. You know, even when you say queen, that's why I say it's sad, because I don't know, it's just different now. And then it's sad to me to just look at it, because most of them probably around my age, and it's like that's how y'all thinking, and that's not the way y'all should be thinking.
Right. You done been ran up on, inside out, back and forth, and now you Queen Sheba. If you don't get out of my face, like I'm gonna walk up like, yeah, I'm a king. I'm like, man, people be programming themselves. She dropped off. People be programming themselves to think something that ain't real. Let's keep going, y'all. Sean, come back.
But that's like, that's like you saying. That's like when the president says minorities, then he's including Black people. But we all know that that's not the case. Black women have specific needs that are not also being met.
What specific needs? Black women. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. What specific needs do you need that we all don't need? He's not trying to create a contract with Black America for your specific needs. He's trying to create a contract with Black America for the needs of the people. Your specific needs, you need to take care of on your own. Whatever specific needs a Black woman need, it is not my responsibility to fulfill that. As just a Black American man who has no relationship with you or nothing. This man he's only married to one woman. He give her specific needs. Her specific needs is all he care about. His manifesto and his contract with Black America is about the people. Yeah. Us as a collective. And what did Selena Gomez? Not Gomez. What did Selena Gomez Johnson? What specific needs do you need, dog? These women this should be crazy cocktails with queens. High alcoholic cocktails with queens is what this need to be called. Listen to this, y'all.
That's not the case. Black women have specific needs that are not also being met. And we also feel that there should be some things that are specific to.
I also feel there should be some things that's specific. So watch what Ice Cube does in this video. Watch this.
Us and our plight as well. And
I understand that.
I feel like as a Black man, you can leave.
No,
I feel like
I just offered y'all to write a section up for it.
I just offered y'all to write a section up for it in the contract with Black America. He just said it in this interview. See, this is the latter part of the interview. In the interview, he said, listen, if you want to add what it is that you need specifically, you can do it in the contract. You can go to the contract. You can go to the contract with blackамerica.com and you can add the specific needs that you're talking about.
Their ears wasn't open. They didn't want to hear that.
Because they have nothing specific they need. They just want to feel special.
Mm-hmm.
You wanting to feel special is not that man's job. Now, first of all, he took it upon himself to take the initiative to do something about the wealth gap in particular. That's all he cares about is the wealth gap. All these specific needs you're talking about, ma'am, you need to go to CVS, Walgreens, Dollar General. You need to go to the store. Whatever you need specifically, you need to go handle that. Because I know one thing, we are all black.
We are.
We are all black. And I know she ain't talking about no specific needs because let me tell you something about child support law. That's a specific thing for y'all. Huh? I ain't got no church now. My church done went. My church is over there busy.
No church ain't went nowhere.
My church is busy cleaning the kitchen up instead of sitting down and having a conversation with the coffee man. You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
My church done checked out on me. I'm at your child support and alimony today, and everybody like, well, I think I'm gonna call in sick on Coffee and Conversation today.
No.
This is not what I expected. Huh?
Yeah,
let's continue. She talking about women have specific needs. Are you killing me? Are you kidding me? Y'all get special treatment just because y'all women. Let's stop capping.
Stop the
now,
cap.
okay. So I will agree to that a certain extent. But they have changed, just like Florida have changed rules. They have changed some rules. You know what I'm saying?
If a man and a woman commit the same crime, if a man and a woman commit the same crime, she get a lesser sentence for the same exact crime. I don't want to hear nothing about no specific needs that y'all need.
I didn't say we need no special.
I'm just talking about her on this video. Now, my question is, okay, what are your specific needs? Let's go. Since you want to do this, let's do this. Selena Johnson. Okay. Selena Gomez Johnson, what are your specific needs that you need? Watch this video. Just watch it.
I'm watching.
I don't mind if you guys help us. If you guys help us write a section. No, I've been open to all kind of experts in putting this together. It wasn't just me. We dealt with experts in all fields of this contract with Black America. So we're willing to deal with experts in the section when it comes to women. So that's no problem.
Okay,
I'll help you write it. I'll help you write it. If
you do get the money, how soon do you think your plan is going to go into effect?
Now, you see, this is what Vivica Fox, this man just talked about the specific needs that y'all all agreed to, and you're like, you know what, skip all that. When you get the money, what you gonna do with it?
He said he'll help.
That is. This is that sassy black woman attitude that gets y'all in trouble. You on the show with Coffee and Conversation Day here on the Mailroom Network every Saturday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to Sean for being breaking. Oh, we cooking.
We are.
From your perspective right here in this interview, the first thing I noticed that you did was you was like, dang, she ain't gonna let the man talk. What energy are you getting from these ladies when it comes to Ice Cube in this interview?
I mean, besides they wouldn't let him talk, it's like it don't matter what he says, their mind is made up of what they want. It's like it's their way or it's no way. Even though he said that, well, I even help you write it. Like you have the right to say what you want to say. I even help. It doesn't matter. Then, if in fact she did come out and was like, well, let's say you do get the money. why y'all worry about, it's just, to me, they're not taking the importance that he's putting in this. They're not looking at that at all. They're not looking at that.
That I feel special thing is embedded. I agree with you. The energy is very high on the attitude portion of it. They're approaching it like, okay, well, here go another Negro who talked to the white man, and so we're gonna grill him because he talked to the white man. What is wrong with you? What is the issue that people have? This is Ice Cube is being very reasonable in this interview. And he's saying, listen, if you want to write a section on things that women need in specifics, you could do that. I will help you write it. This is a team of experts. He's letting you know what it's about. This is the development of the contract. Now, see, he recently got the $100 million, I think, like last year from the NFL. See, now it's coming to fruition slowly but surely. When you have a plan like this, and you call it Contract with Black America, and you have a plan like this, it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time. Her thing is like, okay, so when you get the money, what you gonna do?
Mm-hmm. Impatient.
Cause I ain't got no time. I ain't got time to be writing nothing. You should know what we want. See what I'm saying? But these are the crazy cocktails with the queens. Crazy tales. Let's keep going, man. We almost done. Let's keep going.
When will we start seeing the benefits?
I'm not getting 1 quarter. Okay,
This is something I said
this is something he's promising to the country, and he's gonna have to implement it in a way he feel that can fit.
Okay, but can I just ask though, what would you see this plan doing for the first year for us if he's reelected?
I'm not part of the administration.
Well,
I'm here for Black people. I'm here to talk to both administrations about the Contract with Black America. The Platinum Plan is not mine. Didn't name it. Didn't put it together. All I did was meet about the Contract with Black America. They added some things, and I'm willing to meet with both sides. They can add some things or not. It's fine.
And then, they ran off immediately and did statements.
They ain't giving him. They're not giving him a chance to really. He's trying to explain, and they're not. To me, they're not listening. They, in their minds, it's whatever set in their mind.
Yeah.
And he's trying to just tell what it is, and he's saying he's meeting with the administration. He's trying to put a plan that's going to better us, but they're not trying to hear that.
Some people are just committed to disagreeing with you. And at that point, you have to just say, you know what, it is what it is. Just like forget it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is going nowhere fast. I mean, this man is saying to you, he's here to talk about Black Americans in particular coming together to present a contract with Black America with both sides, whoever gets elected, to see what can we implement in this contract in your administration. That is a specific mission that he's on. He is not here to answer the needs of the women specifically. You can't even get to that point until you address the macro issue, which is everybody got these lower opportunities. Yeah. It makes no difference what a woman's specific needs is when the whole block is poor. The whole block is poor. The whole zip code district is poor, and these women worried about the specific needs of the women. We haven't even addressed why it's poor over here yet. I want my needs met like this.
And you got a lot of down that's like that. So
yeah. So how does that energy relate to relationships? I'm just segueing. Just a side note.
It can still be the same thing. They only hear what they want to hear. It's like it's sad to say, sometimes we are, and I say this all the time, even for my nieces and them, we are very emotional women. We are, but sometimes if we can take the time to listen,
mm-hmm.
and communication is the key. but you have to be able to listen first and then sit and discuss. Even if it's something that you disagree, you got to be willing to discuss and not just hear what you want to hear. And it's got to be my way. No, no, it's my
Right.
way. I'm the queen. What I say is go. And sometimes we can be I'm guilty. I'm guilty of it. I have did it. Like, we can be argumentative, not trying to hear it. We just,
Yeah.
we just have to
Pressing inconsequential issues in a situation that needs attention to the actual context. Like, so this is that interview was 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
So this interview to me was very interesting because of the fact that he is talking particularly about everyone, and the fact that Claudia Morgan, I think her name is, or Claudette Morgan or something like that, the lady in the corner, in the left corner, the fact that she brought up, okay, women haven't been mentioned. It's, again, you excluded yourself from Black people. So you think this is a man versus woman thing?
Some women do think that way.
It's ridiculous though. And so one of the things that I talked about, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about her and I were talking about feelings. And I mentioned how you can't rely on feelings because they're fleeting parts of you. They don't have any foundation. So what I mean by that is this. If you misinterpret something that someone says and you attach a feeling to it, now the feeling that you attach to that misinterpretation, now that feeling, you want someone to validate that.
Yeah.
But you want your feelings validated, but you misinterpreted what was being said. So how can I validate your feeling when you didn't interpret it correctly? How does a person validate a misinterpreted feeling based on a misinterpretation? Now that person has to apologize for something that they don't agree with just for you to feel good enough to continue to have a conversation. Because you just can't listen instead of getting out your feelings. Now, if you interpret something correctly and you feel a certain way about it, then your feeling is valid. I can validate that. How can you validate something that's misinterpreted, that's invalid? So when you have, because you said the key word, listening. Okay, when you listen, that means you have to comprehend what you're hearing. That's what listening is. Listening is comprehension of what you're hearing. So if you're listening closely, then that means that you're not going to misinterpret me. And if you feel like you don't understand something, instead of you asking a question, you just start feeling stuff. And it's like, whoa, why now you want me to apologize, and then you're gonna say, well, it doesn't matter. I still feel this way. You still made me feel this way. Whoa, how? You the one misinterpreted everything. You the one that don't understand shit. So how did I? You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So that's a whole nother show. But that was something that was an interesting conversation I was having, because we were talking about, the dating pool and everything like that. And I was just giving her pretty much a brief synopsis of my theory now, of my mindset now when it comes to dating culture, the 4 types of daters. I had word got back to your boy that there was a group of people, no names to be named, but there were a group of people that took somewhat of an issue with episode number 2 of Coffee and Conversation. And so, yeah, it's so funny that you're on the show right now.
Yeah.
America can see this, right? America is see. Yeah, there was word got back to your boy. I keep my ear stay low to the ground. Yeah, at times,
Does it?
I'm like, oh, I'm like, so some people in particular we're trying to figure out where's Tay going with this? What does he mean? What does he mean? You know.
It's the whole thing with you. It's
a whole thing. I come to break the conscious misinterpretations of our brains to give us a fuller picture, and you make the choice. Listen, I don't make nobody choose or do nothing, but I will do this though. I will challenge your thought, not by attacking you.
You definitely do that.
Yeah, I'm going to challenge your thought, and I'm not going to attack you either. I'm not going to attack you. I'm going to challenge your thought, and I'm going to let that rest. And you, hey, whatever you interpret and feel and all that kind of stuff, as long as I know I gave you clarity, you have no excuse to misinterpret it, then I'm going to let you sit there and you figure that out. But I'm not going to make anybody agree with me or disagree. I'm cool with people disagreeing with me. I think it's good.
And everybody's not agree though.
Yeah, exactly.
Have learned that everybody's not going to agree how you feel or what you say. I mean, because it's a lot of my friends doesn't agree. Yeah. Like watching the broadcast, you know, and getting my friend to watch, you know, and you know, even having a little group, they don't always agree. They be like, "Oh, you just no, I agree." Yeah. But that's because I have learned and experienced, and then just certain things you just have to sit back and be like, "Dang, if it ain't working for you, then figure out it might not be that other person. It might be you."
Yeah, yeah, that's facts. That's definitely facts. So I definitely agree with that. So that's why I just, you know, that's why I do it the way I do it. So boom, you know, just whatever, man. You know, I leave it up to. I'm gonna say my theory. I'm gonna say my philosophy. I'm gonna say my I have an observation. I observe things. One of my skills that I have is the reason why I get paid for what I do. One of the skills that I have is I'm able to understand how things work. I'm able to understand how to decode things. I'm able to understand there's a skill set level to it of how to pay attention to detail. Because in the field that I work in, I have to pay attention to detail. Something else leads to something else that leads to something else that causes the root problem. I have a skill set of knowing how to get to that root problem and fixing the rest of it. That's what I get paid to do. That's what IT is about, especially when you in IT and the level of IT like system and network administration, and you're resolving issues. It's something leads to something, and then it's like, okay, that's the problem. And then when that's the problem and you fix that problem, then it fixes the entire problem. Now you don't have to worry about that problem occurring on a consistent basis. That's pretty much what I get paid for. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it takes a long time, you know what I'm saying? But that's why we get paid what we get paid, because of the fact that, this takes time.
I don't mean to cut you off. So let me ask you a question, because you said it takes time and everything. So, and it's just a question I'm just throwing out there. So when you say take time, if a person is, you know, whether they're in the relationship or not, or they talking to someone or whatever, and they're having this conversation with, let's just say it's me and you, and we having this conversation, and let's just say this the dating scene or whatever, but you're explaining to me or you're telling me what it is with you or whatever, and it takes time, and I understand, like, you know, with the hurt or whatever. So should that person put a length of time on the other person that they're trying to interest in of? And what I mean by putting a length of time, like, we know that it takes time. Should it be a length of time, like, dang, you know, it's been this long, or should it be I guess that's the better word I can say it. So like, for example, for me, I would say this, for me, like, you know, I'm back, like, you know, I'm out there, like, I'm dating, but at the same time, it's like, my guard is still kind of up a little. You know what I'm saying? But it's a process. Like, don't hurt or whatever. So the next person that comes into my life is like, it's not that I'm not trying to put my past onto the future of what's going on, but it's a process, to make sure that I'm not gonna get hurt. So someone told me, it's like, dang, when you gonna get over your hurt? Like you holding back. So should it be a length of time?
You should take as much time as you need in order to be able to understand how to handle your own disappointments. This is what I mean by that.
Okay.
You're scared to get hurt because you don't know how to handle being disappointed. You take it personal. So because you take it personal, then everyone else has to reap the residue of that feeling. Okay. So you're holding back because you don't want to get hurt, because you think putting yourself out there is going to hurt you. So you don't do it. You will give out segments of yourself. You'll give out increments of yourself, but you won't give out the whole thing. Okay, fine. Whatever, but the way you handle the rejection of the outcome doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be hurt by it. See, the problem is that when someone likes somebody so bad and they just see them, that's all they see is them, right? When they get to that point and they see just that person, they keep throwing everything they can at that person, and that person's like, no, I'm still where I'm at. I'm still chilling the way I'm chilling. And you just keep, because you're in your feelings. You're in your feelings.
So
now,
is that person in their feeling or the other person in their feelings?
No, the person that keep going after who they like, that person is in their feelings. This person is not moving. This person is saying, yo, this is where I'm at in my life and this is it. And this person over here is like, yeah, but I like you. And then more, and then more, and then more. And it's increments. And then because you don't get the response you want, then your feelings get hurt. And then you say, you know what? I'm never going to let that happen to me again. So I'm not going to show my feelings anymore. That's stupid because you're human. That's not how you resolve that. You see, that's just another reason to be a victim of something. So that way you won't feel like you being hurt, rejected, and all that kind of stuff. What it really boils down to is that I should be able to spend time with somebody and tell them things about me and be transparent. And if they don't like me, I should be okay with that. My feelings are not hurt. And I'm not going to stop being myself because that person rejected me. No, I'm going to do that with someone else. If they like me and I like them, hey, I'm going to talk to them as well. And I'm going to let them know where I'm at. And I'm going to find out where they're at. And then we're going to talk. Okay, fine. And if it doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out. What happens is when it doesn't work out for some people, you take it personal, you internalize it, and then all of a sudden you start acting funny. And then the next person you date, they reap the residue of you acting funny because you got rejected by this person that you really like. Because if you had your preference, you would just pick the person you like and they would like you back and you'll be fine. But what if they don't fit you? What if they don't fit you though? What if they don't fit you? Then it's like then you get what you wanted. You get what you wanted, and then all of a sudden you're like, dang, I didn't know it was like that. You see, because we don't want to take our time. You see, we don't want to take our time. We would rather just get what we want, and then we'll leave it and then we'll experience that and then figure it out later. It's like you haven't figured yourself out first.
But have you ever experienced and I'm just saying this because I experienced this with a particular person, and I felt like he was trying to make me feel like guilty for how I felt. I'm like, you're a nice person, but I'm just taking it slow. It didn't matter what he said. It was just like I felt like he was just like trying to make me feel guilty. You just
feel guilty about what you not liking him
this long. I would thought you would have gave in. I'm like, I didn't ask you to chase me this long.
Exactly. So with those people, you can't do nothing with because people are going to feel and respond the way they want. It's how you conduct yourself in the midst of that. Okay. If in your house right now, if you have 3 dogs that came in your house, stray dogs, they just found a way to come in your house, what's the first thing you're going to do?
Well, I'm not gonna let 3 stray dogs.
No. That's not about what you let. Let's say, for instance, 3 strange dogs come in your house.
Oh, what the first thing do?
Yeah, what would you do?
I mean, I would.
3 stray dogs, you don't know what they are. They pit bulls too. They 3 pit bulls come in your house, random. What would you do? Would you be scared and run away? Would you shoot? Would you try to hit them?
I don't like dogs, so yeah, I would.
Okay, so your response is out of fear. Like, I don't know these dogs. Yeah. Boom, boom. Okay. So just like fear can be sensed. Fear has a certain character to it. It can be sensed. So when you fear, so a woman who's talking to, if I'm on a date with a woman and we're having a conversation and everything is one word, it's less than 3 syllables, everything is just like dry and all that kind of stuff. Okay, that lets me know that you're hiding something, because you're not like this with everybody. And you could be just hiding yourself. You may not feel comfortable. I'm nervous. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But if I decided to not have a second date with you, if you get a whole attitude about it, that is your attitude that you're going to have. I am not going to care about it, because you gave me what it is. You gave me the presentation of, it's just dinner. It don't matter. Being around you and talking to you is not interesting like that. I'm just out here to have a meal. If I get that vibe, because I'm sensing how fearful you are of opening up because you don't want to get hurt again, then if you don't get a second date with me, then you don't get no attitude. And if you do get an attitude, that is your attitude. It ain't mine. I'm not gonna accept that. You feel me? So that's the thing. Is like, we want people to respond in a way that we want them to respond, to validate us. And that's why my man was like, yo, I did this and did that. He started talking about that because he wanted validation and you didn't give it to him. That's what we all want. That's feelings. That's what feelings do. Feelings want, and they yearn for one thing the most: validation. Okay. So much so to the point where they legislate laws because of people's feelings now. You see that? Oh, we feel like listen, marriage is not just for straight people. We want to have marriage too. Okay, now y'all got it. Now what? And you found out it's a cold game. You found out how cold the game is, and now you're trying to modify that. Well, what if this and what if that? Now you're going down this rabbit hole of the what ifs, and you're never going to get an answer. Nothing is going to satisfy you. Okay, so why would I put myself in a place to try to satisfy something that is not satisfiable? That makes no sense. So what I'm going to do is move accordingly to how I am. And I'm not going to let nobody else's feelings manipulate mine because you misinterpreted me. You thought I meant something else when I didn't. See, that's how men are. Men, we respond to the intention. When we talk, we have an intention. Women want the validation. I like you. I like you too. It's cool. Okay, I gave you that validation. You didn't feel like you was alone on that one. Can I come up to your house? No, you can't come up to my house though. I mean, but if you like me, how I can come up to your house? Whoa! I just validated the fact that I like you too. Since you put it out there, I like you too. I validated that. Now you want to come up now you want to be in my space? Mm-hmm. Just because you like me? So you like me, so now you're entitled to my space in my home, in my privacy. You see where this can go? All because of feelings. All because of feelings. We're gonna get into this commercial. I mean, not commercial. We're gonna get into this interview real quick, and we're gonna stop the show. Okay. So this is Ice Cube, because I gotta get back to the show. I mean, we veered off a little bit.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. You're good. It was a good conversation. Good conversation. This is what it's about. It's about coffee and conversation, man. That's what's up, man. So shout out to you again. I appreciate it. It's all love. I appreciate it. We're gonna get into the Ice Cube Tucker Carlson video. I'm gonna play through it. I'm not gonna stop it too many times. But I want to play through it. Hold on. See if it comes up. Hold on. See here. So we're gonna get into this interview. There we go. And this is Tucker Carlson and Ice Cube. This is now recent. This is like maybe a week or so ago. This interview, Tucker Carlson had just got fired from Fox. Fox let him go because of his stance on certain things or whatever. Fox is a fraternity, so he kind of like interrupted the fraternity flow. And they're like, no, dog, you got to get out of here now because you don't agree with us, so we can't rock with you no more. And so right here, he interviewed Ice Cube, and they had an interview together, and then they were just talking about the state of things and things of that nature. And so I want to go ahead and play this interview, and then we're gonna chop it up about it. Then we're gonna close out.
So why would you be doing this of all interviews? I mean, you could do an interview with anyone. You're doing an interview with me. Obviously, you're going to take abuse for doing that. Like, why would you do that?
Because I think it's silly not to talk to people. I think whether we agree or not,
right?
That has nothing to do with it. It's like, this is what it's all about. Let's talk about it. Let's debate. And I've been shut out.
That sounds like right-wing extremism and whataboutism.
But I've been shut out. Some platforms will not have me on.
Why?
They don't like that I'm, an independent thinker. I'm not part of the herd. I'm not part of the go along to get along gang, so to speak. So, I'm an outsider. And so, I'm not part of the club. So I have to go places.
That sounds interesting, don't it? He said he's not part of the club. He's not this, not that. But I know I said I wasn't going to stop it too many times. But that was interesting to me because he's going to explain it. But this is one of the things that I noticed that with people in our community, for sure, is they think because you got a lot of money, that you have a lot of access to everything because you had it before, but you don't have it now. So what is that about, right? And so I think that we tend to assume that, I mean, Ice Cube, he got money. He a gatekeeper. He put people on. Yeah, he put people on when he was trying to get on. Like, remember, he was NWA, and then his first movie was Friday. The first movie he was in as an actor was Boys in the Hood. He took Boys in the Hood and made it funny. He took Boys in the Hood and made it funny and called it Friday. And then he had up and coming people, Chris Tucker, you know what I'm saying, himself. He had some vets in the game like John Witherspoon, God rest his soul. You know what I'm saying? Nia Long was in the movie. You know what I'm saying? He had some Faison Love. Like Tiny Lister, like people who were still on the come up. And he turned to him. So to call him, people have been calling him gatekeeper and all this kind of stuff. I wouldn't go that far. Most of the time, a gatekeeper is someone that is able to control the flow. They're able to control and cap off your career in certain ways, and especially in Hollywood. It's like that he's not the guy that's like, no one is calling Ice Cube like, yo, Ice Cube, do you think I should hire this particular actor for this movie? And he'd be like, yeah, go ahead and do it. No, he's not that. That's a gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? A gatekeeper is someone they go to like a yeah, don't hire them, dog. Don't hire them. I got somebody else. I got somebody else for you. Don't hire them. Then the company, they'll be like, okay, because if you got a good relationship with them, they're like, okay, we won't hire you. Well, okay, well, you didn't get the part. I'm like, why I didn't get it? I killed it. I killed the audition. How come I didn't get the part? Because somebody who looks just like you said, don't give it to him. That's a gatekeeper. So what Cube is talking about is interesting in the fact that he don't have access to these shows like he did because they thought, oh, he got along with us. So, we'll give him an opportunity to give him some exposure. But in reality, they was just they wasn't trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, but I kind of found that interesting part right there where he talked about, I'm not a part of the club, and so I just wanted to mention that real quick. All right, I'm gonna keep going.
Places for one that I'm welcome, and where I can voice my opinion without somebody, saying I'm a bad person and that they never want to have me on their platform again.
What platforms have banned you?
I've been I tried to go on The View. They didn't have me on The View.
Why?
Well, a few of the guests just really didn't like where I was coming from. So, or a few of the hosts, I mean. So that's what I was told by the producers. I don't know if the producers was just copping out and using some of the hosts to not have me come on and explain myself, but
you'd be a good booking for them.
I've been on there before.
Yeah.
It's just when I've became an independent thinker, when I've, I'm not, I don't follow their brand of politics, I guess.
But if you can't think for yourself, then you're not really free, are you?
No, you're not. You're not. But I've been excluded. I've been excluded on Oprah.
On Oprah?
On Oprah, yeah. I've been excluded. Yeah, man.
I would think you'd be the person Oprah would want to promote. I mean, you grew up in South Central. You were successful at a young age. You have dignity. You say what you think. Like, I thought that was the goal.
Me too. I don't know what it is, but several of my, I had a movie called Barbershop.
I remember
that I wasn't invited to participate with.
That's interesting. He wasn't invited to participate with the cast of Barbershop when the movie came out. So the cast was there, but he wasn't. He actually made the movie. I'm losing track of time, so I can't really get into it too deep. But I find, again, it's a very interesting thing that, all of this came from this contract with Black America. Basically, this is the reason why I wanted to talk about it, is because him trying to have a reasonable perspective on how to get Black people to receive opportunities and things of that nature, and how it was limited. It's just, he was fighting for the people. And so when he started speaking up and talking about it, now all of a sudden they like, you know what, Ice Cube, you an independent thinker. We don't really like that. We have a certain standard here at CNN. We have a certain whatever at this particular show. So we're not going to have you on, and so that has been happening lately to him for the last few years. But in the midst of all of that, he still developed the Big Three basketball league, which is an official league. You know what I'm saying? That he owns. And he took that from the perspective of, growing up in the hood, you did 2-on-2, 3-on-3 backyard basketball. Now we're gonna turn it into an actual league, and it's an actual league, and it keeps athletes who no longer are in the NBA, who want to participate in the Big Three. It gives them the opportunity to make some money, And so, but even though he's doing all these things, when it comes down to trying to better the entire community, we don't want to have you on our platform. I find that very interesting. All right. So any final thoughts you want to have?
No, it was a very interesting topic. I mean, I just feel like, even on just hearing all that, it's just, I feel like he's being judged and he's not getting his point across. They're not willing to hear the whole situation where he's trying.
Yeah. I think they're trying to shut out the context so they can keep perpetuating the whole agenda part. You know what I'm saying? And so I found it very interesting that we talked about Ice Cube and the whole alimony thing. It was a good show, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. So listen, y'all, my special guest today was one of our moderators, Sean Tillman. I appreciate you coming on. Hey, y'all, we are done with Coffee and Conversation right now, but let me tell you something, man. Don't worry. We'll be back next Saturday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have some more coffee, some more conversation, and it's going to be fire, all right? Until next time, as always, keep your coffee and your conversation brewing. I'm a classic. Don't forget your merch. Get the link. Don't forget the merch. We holla.